liked to, in memory of his home, kept a tub aboard his ship with a Scotch rum plant living in it, and somehow or another he left it in Stillman. And as you know, Scotch rum spreads. But anyway, it's been fun talking, and I'm asked to talk about history, but you know, what do you mean history? Hell, I was there. I remember my mother laughing about an occasion at a family get-together. When she was very young, they had an elderly uncle that was a Civil War veteran, and somebody asked the old uncle if he'd been at the Battle of Bull Run. He says, "Hell yes, bulls run, cows run, everything run. Them that ain't there yet." Well, things have changed. I remember when I was young, you could go outside on a calm night in the spring and you could hear frogs croaking. There was so much water standing around in various little ponds and stuff that the frogs, there were so many frogs and they croaked the point. There was a sound almost like wind blowing through dead trees. And you could go outside at night and you could see the stars.
How about the meadowlarks?
Now you could occasionally hear the steam locomotive over on the MP track blowing two longs and two shorts for the Gravy Lake Drive intersection and the one at Tillicum. Sometimes you could hear the ferry boat whistle down at Stillman. Sunday morning you could hear the bell from the Little Brown Church on Washington Boulevard. But now you go outside, all you can hear is the roar of the traffic on the freeway, and you can't see the stars because of the lights from the shopping centers.
Dave?
Now I guess that's growth, and people think growth is good, but especially the people that make a lot of money off it because their land got valuable. But at the same time, I've heard it said that growth also describes a tumor. Now, doesn't it? Thanks for listening.
Dave?
Have these pictures here, whatever
Dave?
you want to look at them.
Dave, we got one point.
Yeah.
I remember a lovely lady that used to be driven around this area in a red Packard, a bright red Packard.
Mm-hmm.
And she wore a bright red outfit and her lipstick matched.
Yeah.
That was your mother.
Yes, it was. It was the Packard. The body was red. The fenders were black, and above the door sill was black.
That's right.
Yeah.
She wore red, and she was just a lovely.
Yeah.
Is it a touring car?
No, it was a four-door sedan. It was called a club sedan because it had a trunk on the back of it.
Boy, she was a lovely.
Well, I was reminded I hadn't introduced Dave. It just never occurred to me that you didn't know who he was. But this is David Fogg, born and raised here. Family had title company, or one or two. His mother was part of the Neelan tribe that owned Olympia Oyster Company. And, oh, he had some colorful relatives, that was for sure.
Yeah, mother's family came to Shelton in the early 1880s, I think 1882, something like that. Mother was born in Shelton in 1884. But, she had four sisters. They were a pair, a group to draw to, I'll tell you. One time, I guess, her younger sister, I guess, well, they were something probably around 20 years old or less.
And
They were in Olympia and decided to ride their horse down to Shelton. You know, and horse is the way you got around that. And day in the summer, and they got the Camelci. There was a saloon in Camelci, but of course, women weren't to go into saloons. But they decided that it was a hot day, and they were thirsty, and they were going to have a glass of beer. So they rode the horse into the saloon. I guess Grandfather Nealon got a pretty sizable bill for whatever damage he was done into the saloon. You mentioned Mother's car. She had a, I think it was a 1913 or 1914 Mercer Roadster, painted yellow and black fenders. And that was the stock Mercer color. There was a cop at Olympia that used to arrest everybody, and Mother was down there one day. The Mercer was a pretty fast car that outperformed most of the cars of the day. These guys at the gas station down there told Mother that you go up the hill and you open the cutout, they had a thing you stepped on that bypassed the muffler and made an awful roar. You open the cutout, go up that hill, and if you can beat that motorcycle cop at the top of the hill, we'll, I don't know, they were going to give her something, but if you get stopped, we'll pay your ticket. So she went roaring off up the hill, and of course the cop couldn't catch her, and came all the way to the corner. I guess Dad got a phone call from somebody in Olympia about his wife and that yellow Mercer. Well, I don't know, I probably missed a lot of things, but if anybody's got anything they want to remind me of, or maybe I can.
Did you have fun at the Oaks? Did you ever have fun at the Oaks with Pavilion?
The Oaks.
The Oaks Pavilion?
Oh, I guess I didn't mention the Oaks. We used to go over there to dances quite often, and back in 1934, 35, that was when walkathons were popular. And they had a couple of those over there that went off for 2 or 3 months till everybody finally fell out. But the Oaks became the Lakewood ice rink, and the building was finally condemned to the condominium now.
In those days, did they ever cut ice on the lake?
I can remember in 1930, I believe, and either 1950 or 51, Gravely and American Lake both froze. I think usually if the lakes froze, it snowed, you didn't, but these 2 times it didn't snow, and it froze hard enough you could skate. I remember, I think it was either 50 or 51. A friend of mine and I skated from Martin's Boathouse to the country club and back, but you could not go over on the south side of American Lake when it was ice, because there was a great big open spot. There's huge springs. They would be towards the country club from Silcox Island, and not quite as far down as Thornwood, but there's an area there of about 10 acres that won't freeze.
I think it was 50. That's when we had the blizzard. 50.
Oh, right, for Seattle storm.
Do you know who named Nyanza Road? Do you know who named Nyanza Road? What year was Nyanza Road named, and who named it?
Somebody who traveled to Africa got the name Nyanza.
Which name was that?
Nyanza.
Nyanza means lake area in Swahili.
Yeah.
So somebody must have traveled there, but I wonder
I
how
think it was
far
one
that
of
goes back.
One of the families that lived around American Lake, I heard that story, and they had brought that back from their travels. I don't know.
Probably Walter Thompson.
Yeah. Because he has that property all the way down. Walter today.
Yeah, he owned most of the property
defecating as this rolled on by.
Dance the geese.
To coin a phrase.
Yeah.